Probably one of the best things that the Raiders have going for them right now is the defensive line. Nobody disagrees with that. Well, except maybe if you're like Chris Sims or some other schmoron out there that just loves to hate on the Raiders. But if you really look at it right now, the Raiders' defensive line is probably the very best part of the entire team. We have some loaded offensive weapons, but we really need Aiden O'Connell to take that next step. So the Raiders are really going to be reliant upon that defense this year to continue to have the absolute dominant year that they had in the second half of last season. But one of the things about the NFL that always comes to play, especially later in the season, is injuries and how good a team is built in depth. Ladies and gentlemen. God forbid Max Crosby were to go down with an injury 3, 4, 5 weeks long, or Malcolm Kuntz, or Christian Wilkins. Well, as far as the defensive end type of situation goes, there is a player out there that the Raiders could go and pick up on a one-year contract right now. He is lingering in free agency, and no one has grabbed him as of yet, and he has a pretty good history with the Raiders, as he played for the Raiders in 2021, and I am talking about Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue has a fantastic relationship with Max Crosby, and Max Crosby even went and said that since Yannick, he has not had a player to match his level until now getting Christian Wilkins. And so this is very high praises for Yannick that we could go out and grab right now. And so the question really comes down to it: should the Raiders go out and sign Yannick to a one-year deal just to make sure that we have even a little bit more depth with a veteran player, and he still has a lot of proven potential? Now, I'm not saying that the Raiders should go out and sign him to be a starter, because Malcolm Kuntz is going to be opposite of Max Crosby this year. There's no doubt about that. But you need to have that depth, and he's at that point in his career where Yannick would be happy to be back with the Raiders, most likely as a rotational player, getting paid a few $1 million and still get to be in the NFL. Even though Max Crosby plays at least, 98% of his snaps, like his number, he still needs to take snaps off. And when that occurs, you have a guy who can come in that can put pressure on the quarterback. Now, one of the only downsides of Yannick has always been he's a little bit weak in the run game. So you'd want to put him in there on obvious passing downs. Maybe Malcolm needs to come out and get a breather. You put Yannick in there, he's going to put pressure on that quarterback. If something were to happen to Malcolm Kuntz, let's say Tyree's still not getting it done on the defensive edge, he's proving to be better moving on the inside at that D tackle line, then you have somebody that can come in and will get pressure. Now, we all know that he only played for the Raiders for 1 year, and we all thought he was going to come back because, let's face it, in 2021, he had a pretty decent year with the Raiders getting 10 sacks. He was actually leading the way with those 10 sacks. Why did the Raiders get rid of Yannick? Well, because Josh McDumdum came in and decided that he wasn't worth having, and he was going to bring another Patriots guy in Chandler Jones, and this was going to be great, and gave Chandler Jones this big old contract, and we all know that turned out to be an absolute disaster as Chandler Jones went completely bonkers for whatever reason, and we wish him the best of health moving forward in his life. But we need depth on that defensive line. I think bringing Yannick in on a cheap deal, 1 year contract, and just let him be that depth player, let him be that rotational player, would be really good for the Raiders. And he already has chemistry with a lot of players, especially Max Crosby, on that line. Let me know what you guys think about that. Should the Raiders bring Yannick Ngakoue back? And if we bring him back, how many years would you give him? 1 year deal, a 2 year deal, a 3 year deal? and how much would you pay him? Also, don't forget that the t-shirts are still on sale right now. Yes, the price has gone up since the Father's Day sale, but you can still get them at a huge discount. So make sure you go and check that out. And the posters are slashed way off, over 80%. Go and get your posters, get your t-shirts today. We got more coming in stock here shortly, and we got some more designs in the works for you guys, so you're not going to want to miss out on that.